Hi, Doc. It's nice to see you again. I know it's been a while. How have you been doing?
Well, I'm not doing so well. Well, I was doing well.
I'm sorry to hear that. I heard you say you were doing well. What happened?
See, there's this race car that came into town and he destroyed a whole road. He split it right in half. So now he's still here in Radiator Springs.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's horrible. Is it fixed yet?
Yes, it's fixed. We made him stay to fix it, but I didn't want him to stay. I know what his kind is like.
Well, that's a great idea to have him fix it cuz he did mess it up. Now, why didn't you want him to stay to fix it?
Because he's a race car, and I know what race cars are like. They're not nice, they're selfish. They shouldn't be here in this town.
Sounds like you're judging Lightning McQueen over being a race car.
Well, yeah, it's not just because he's a race car. When I see him, I see myself in him. I used to be a race car myself, and ever since then, he's been snooping around my stuff.
Now, when you said snooping around, what was he trying to look at?
Well, I have a garage, and those are where all my prized possessions are in. He was looking for me one day, and I wasn't in there, and he saw all my piston cups, my trophies, and my newspapers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now, is there a reason why you had that stuff hidden? Was there a trespassing sign, or was it supposed to be locked and it wasn't? What happened?
There is a trespassing sign on the door, but my things are hidden because I don't want anyone to know who I am. Because really, I'm the famous Hudson Hornet, but I don't want anyone to know that.
What? Now, why don't you want your friends to know that?
Well, see, when I was the famous Hudson Hornet, I had this wreck and it destroyed me. I was never able to go back to racing. And ever since then, I just kept it a secret.
Now, when you said you couldn't go back to racing, why couldn't you? Did you try?
I did try after I was all fixed up after my wreck. They basically told me I was history and that I would never race again. So that put a dent in my self confidence. And ever since then, I've hidden my true identity.
Now, how does that make you feel you had to hide yourself from your friends?
It makes me feel like I'm lying to them and like I'm not being true to myself. Honestly, I wish I can tell them, but I don't know how. I'm just too afraid. I just want one laughing at me.
Now, how does Lightning McQueen fit into all this? Like, did he do something besides mess up the road?
No, he really didn't do nothing per se. It's just when it comes to race cars, they think about themselves and no one else. It's all about win the race, win the race. But what about people like me who crashed and no one helped me afterwards? I was a goner.
It sounds like you're judging Lightning McQueen just like everyone judged you after you had your wreck.
Yeah, I guess you can say I'm judging him. I really don't know him at all, but it's just, just the whole concept of racing. I just know his kind.
I just want to encourage you to get to know him if you didn't already. You never know what you can find in someone.
I mean, that's something I'm willing to try down the road, I guess. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's McQueen. He's just been a hard person just being around since he's been here.
Now, I want to go back to your wreck and talk about it a little bit. What did you lose when you wrecked? What happened?
I lost friends, money, fans, stuff like that, self confidence. Like, I feel like I will never be able to be the person who I used to be at all.
Now, how does that make you feel knowing, like back then when you lost all that? How did you feel?
I felt sad, hopeless, and alone. At times, I still feel sad, hopeless, and alone because no one really understands what I'm keeping from them or will really know who I really am. So I feel like I'm just a lost cause.
Now, what helped you cope with this loss in your life? It sounds like racing was like a huge part of your life.
Racing was my whole life. I guess the way I cope with it is just trying to race on this dirt road.
So, did you gain anything from the tragedy?
I ended up getting a whole new life, even though it's sort of part of a lie. But I gained new friends, a new home, I knew everything. It was easy since no one knew that past, but now it's becoming hard because it's like McQueen's here and he knows what my past consists of.
Now, did you like your friends not knowing who you were?
Um, I wouldn't say that. It was more of someone them know, but I want to tell them eventually. I feel like they wouldn't change or look at me no different if I would tell them.
Okay, well, that'll be good. But so it sounds like you gained some positive reinforcements in your life even after your wreck.
I did, honestly.
Glad to hear that. Is there anything else that could have triggered your emotions besides Lightning McQueen going through your garage?
I would say mainly him triggered it. Probably more of the fact that he's a race car and it brought back all my memories of being a race car and how much I would just love to race again on the track.
So, since Lightning McQueen found out who you were, how has this affected your actions?
Well, honestly, I just started imagining myself racing again. Like I said, there's this dirt road that I've been practicing on. One day I did try to start my engine and I just couldn't do it. I was just too scared. But as days went on, I did try racing and it felt so good to be on a dirt road again with my racing tires.
Sounds great. I'm glad to hear you say that. Now, knowing you can't ever race professionally again, now, how does that affect you? Like knowing that he is and you're not?
Um, I guess it only affects me because I wish I was racing again. Like I just miss just hitting that finish line, just keep racing around the laps, just being in a pit stop. I miss all those things. But I feel like now as time went on, I think I know I still got it, but it's just something I can't do right now anymore, at least.
That's good, Doc. Is this track that you said you started your engine up and were able to go along? Is that the same track you usually drive on just to like take a drive and relax a little bit and take some breaths?
Well, it is. None of the townspeople really know about it, but it's pretty ducked off. But I use it a lot just to think about my race days. It helps me relax and to just try and see if I still got that spark.
Now, when you do this, have you used some of the relaxation techniques that we worked on?
Um, yes, I have been actually. I've been practicing the relaxation techniques on my own that you taught me.
Perfect. I am glad you were so successful and you were able to race along your track again. I hope you can consider that a self-rewarding thing you did.
I do. I even went to like McQueen's race too. Well, technically, Mater didn't get to say bye, so we had to go say bye first. But I see that he needed my help, so I was his crew manager. So I helped him get around the track and through the race.
That's amazing. Now, how did that make you feel like being in a different position? You weren't racing, but you were still there and you were helping Lightning McQueen complete a race. Like how rewarding was that to you?
It was so rewarding. Even though I wasn't the one racing, I was glad to see McQueen just be a better person than when he started at Radiator Springs. It felt great to just be able to help someone, like because no one helped me.
Now, I heard your tone of voice change when you said he was a better person. Did something happen at the race that like made you change your opinion?
Well, I, there was three race cars, and Dinoco actually got hurt, and it brought back memories of when I got hurt and how no one was there. But instead of Lightning McQueen finishing the race, he stopped before the finish line and he went back and helped Dinoco cross the line. So I felt like that was more rewarding because I got to see him not be selfish. He helped others out.
That's definitely something that could have been rewarding. I'm glad you got to experience that. And I hope that made you feel some comfort in your heart as well, knowing this is the kind of new friend you guys have at Radiator Springs.
Yes, I plan on making new friends as time goes on. When he won the race, like he put Radiator Springs back on the map. There has been so many tourists and visitors now, but they don't really ask questions about me. But if they do, I'm willing to tell them about my story.
That's great. Now, do you think you going to the race and even just Lightning McQueen coming to your town, do you think that helped you cope a little bit with everything?
I think it did. I think it helped me more not be so hidden about my secret identity and be more self-confident in who I truly am and what I know I can still do. Even though I'm not racing, I knew that even on a dirt road, that I still got it. And that even if I'm putting a smile on someone else's face like Lightning McQueen's, that's okay with me.
Now, how did your friends react to you finding out that you were a race car in your past?
They all reacted differently, but they still were very supportive. I wish I would have told them sooner.
I'm glad your friends were very supportive of something that's been causing you so much stress in your life. Through this whole experience, it seems like you gained a ton of new friends and you're not scared to let people know who you really are anymore.
Yes, I plan on making new friends, a bunch of them, but you know, as time goes on, I'm willing to share my story. Like Light McQueen has opened up my eyes just that even though I was the once famous Hudson Hornet, that I shouldn't be ashamed of who I truly am.
That sounds great. So since we are nearing the end of our session, is there anything else you would like to share with me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well before we go, I would like to give you some homework to work on for the next time. I would like you to make a list of your fears that we can discuss in our next meeting. Start with the least fearing inducing item and work yourself up to the most fearing inducing item. We will go over them and I will guide you through on how to concentrate on those specific fears while being in a relaxed state. Do you think you can handle this?
Yes, I think I can handle that.
Well, that sounds great. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.